As probably some of you have been in your own lives, I was a longtime meditator, um, practicing, I was going to say very earnestly, for a couple of decades, easily. Um, I struggled with the earnest part. I mean, I meditated quite a bit, but um, I kind of approached it not infrequently as something that I should be doing, more of because I had this belief that it was going to bring me what I wanted, that it was I mean, I really was being instructed in the different meditation traditions that I was part of that the meditation was a means towards an end, and that end, you know, called it different things, self-realization, God realization, um, more, simply just a sense of peace, freedom, and so on. So yeah, so I thought if I could get better at meditation and do it more often and more diligently, it's like I could take this thing called me, this human experience, this consciousness or whatever, and somehow um, transform it in such a way that it would then become a vehicle for this understanding, right? Essentially, I was looking to change my experience, quite frankly, without really thinking of it in those terms. But in hindsight, that was very much what was going on. Um, as I now talk about, though, another way to look at spiritual practice in general or meditation is rather than seeing it as a means towards an end, um, you can look at it as simply an expression of the end. The end being the discovery of, as the Tibetans call it, the great perfection, this one thing being everything, this astonishing, miraculous reality that is the only thing that exists. Call it God if you like. Call it, well, there's no word to call it, right? Call it this, call it reality, call it the basic state, call it the Tao, the divinity. How do we give a word to this absolute that encompasses everything? Well, if it is the absolute that encompasses everything that we're searching for, that sense of the wholeness, the completeness, um, logically, our practices are in fact an expression of that because everything is an expression of that, you see? So as you're just sitting here listening, um, let that be the case. As you're sitting here, it already is the case that everything that's occurring, including the thing you and I might describe as sitting here, generally speaking, is an absolute expression of what it is we're searching for as humans. This wholeness that is everything, this limitlessness, this ground of being. So everything's just arising naturally from the ground, the mysterious ground. And nothing needs to be altered. You can just, whatever is appearing, you can just let it appear. Whatever is arising, you let it arise. Whatever is manifesting, seemingly, let it manifest. Whatever's occurring, let it occur. Because all of it is the occurrence of reality. Your experience is irrelevant in this case. Because all of your experience, what you call experience, what I call experience, is simply this mystery unfolding, arising naturally, effortlessly. The ground of being, being everything. right? The root nature of everything, the basic nature of everything is being. And everything that arises, that is arising right now in real time, is that. And so this is what I mean when I say, look at your sitting here, if you want to call it meditation, it doesn't matter. It's just, there's no, again, no word for it really, but we could call it that, is, as everything is, an expression of the goal, an expression of the great perfection. Every thought, everything you might call a thought is simply that great perfection appearing as that, naturally arising. Every emotional state, every sensation, every memory, every fantasy, every all the experiences that we don't really have words for, all of it is the movement of this radiance, the shining of it, the brilliant shining of it. So nothing needs to be altered, nothing needs to be manipulated, nothing needs to be contrived, nothing needs to be managed or corrected or transformed. Here's the one thing, and you could do something, we could do something seemingly to transform the way it's appearing, which would create a different experience, but it would remain the one thing, wouldn't it? You see? The one thing is the one thing is the one thing is the one thing. So however we might manipulate it or control it, try to do that to alter its nature, it remains the one thing. So nothing needs to be done to correct it. Not only is everything arising naturally and effortlessly and inexplicably, I mean, the moment's just here, just appearing in all its incredible, fantastical diversity. And it's also in the instant of its arising, we can notice and appreciate and be astounded by the natural release of everything. Everything is freed in the instant of its arising, which is why it's impossible to reify anything, actually. The appearance of the moment is its disappearance, isn't it? It's freed. Each perception. Notice it. This perception, it's gone. Where does it go? Disappears, vanishes, freed, released in its arising. Effortlessly. Just as it arises naturally and effortlessly, it releases itself naturally and effortlessly. Not because we're getting good at letting go of things, but it is its nature to let go of itself. Right? And in that sense, it never, strangely enough, never actually becomes what we think it becomes. So there is, in that sense, nothing here that's concrete and identifiable, right? Because it's already moved on, instantaneously becomes something else, seemingly, and then instantaneously becomes something else. So in that sense, it never becomes a thing. But that's not the whole story either, because here is all of this, the display, right? Our conversation today, our meeting. Here this is. It's showing up as something seemingly that in one sense we seem able to recognize and participate in. And yet all of that is very dreamlike in the sense of it's already gone as something, isn't it? You feel that natural release in each instant of the moment. I wrote this little thing some time ago that it's very much what I've been talking about around meditation. Maybe I would read it to you. It's titled Meditation is All There Is. Here's another way to understand what meditation is. Meditation is simply this, exactly as it is. I mean, exactly, not one iota different. Reality appearing as it appears. Experience unfolding however it unfolds. This is the deepest meditation, to simply see that all there is meditation. A moment labeled as confusion, meditation. An experience of great ease, meditation. An instant of utter despair, meditation. A flash of bliss, meditation. Feeling the pain of identification and separation, meditation. Experiencing a sense of liberation from identity, meditation. Feeling caught in some convoluted web of labeling and storytelling, meditation. Seeing through all the labels and the stories to the pristine unknowability of it all, meditation. There's really no need to close your eyes, sit in some special posture, and engage in whatever set of strategies you've been taught constitute meditation. We can, of course, take up whatever psycho-spiritual practices we find ourselves inclined towards, but we can also see that just this, as it is, however it may be looking or feeling, is itself total meditation. The streaming forth of each instant, the arising and passing away of every momentary experience, all of it pure meditation, the meditation of life.